Despite the somewhat celestial name of Shiloh, the carnage unfolded in this Civil War battle in 1862 was one of the war's worst and bloodiest battles. Now, let's explore which commanders were involved in this battle. PGT Bureaucrat. Poor relationships with the Confederate President, second in command to General Albert Sidney Johnston, and took command after General Albert Sidney Johnston died in battle. Albert Sidney Johnston launched surprise attack on General Ulysses S. Grant, great commander and incredibly useful for the Confederacy. Therefore, when he dies, it is a ridiculous loss on the Confederates' behalf, considering he was a valuable commander. He aided in Union's second-day battle by providing over 20,000 men, but there's really nothing much to this dude. And now the one and only Ulysses S. Grant. Captured Fort Donelson and Fort Henry months earlier, set up camp at Pittsburgh Landing near the Mississippi state border, and surprise attacked by the Confederacy. This battle was located in a Union camp adjacent to the banks of the Tennessee River at Pittsburgh Landing, 22 miles north of Corinth, Mississippi. In the middle of this warfare endured a building which the battle is named after, Shiloh Church. Ironically, the name Shiloh represents peace. However, this is contrary to what is displayed in the battle. To prevent Buell joining forces with Grant and outnumbering the Confederacy, Johnston devises an ambush on Grant and his troops. Having the Union oblivious to their proximity, Johnston charges to battle in the early morning. Stunned by the Confederates' ambush, the Union forward camps withdraw. Yet, they form a line with a left and right flank. Johnston had hoped to turn Grant's left flank, but had instead targeted the center and right of the Union's line. This flaw causes Johnston to overwhelm his forces on the left flank, leaving few on the right to fight. The Confederacy then targets the center of the battlefield. The sound of the false bullets is compared to hornets, thus naming this area the Hornet's Nest. The Confederacy charges forward as both their right and left flanks choke the Union. Johnston dies during battle after bleeding to death from an artery wound in his leg. Grant forms one last line that holds strong that causes the Confederates to withdraw to camp. Beauregard takes command. Refusing defeat, Grant and Buell's army, which had recently arrived, launch cannons toward the Confederacy the next day and charges forward. This off-guard attack favors the Union, and they claim the victory despite their surmounting casualties. Now, after all that blood and gore of the battle, let's establish some statistics. On the Union side, approximately 66,000 of troops were engaged in battle and a casualty of 13,000. On the Confederate side, approximately 44,700 troops were engaged in battle with a casualty of 10,700. So there wasn't exactly a prominent victory. However, concerning the troops, the Confederacy harbored ill-trained soldiers. Usually they were recruits who never experienced battle. In contrast, the Union's troops were more developed and more trained.